Okay, so we're travelling from West London in our football club history series to West Yorkshire. Now, we've done Bradford City. We're doing their near neighbours, Leeds United. Now, Leeds United have a very interesting foundation story, and it does take a long period of time for them to actually start winning silverware, mostly under the Don Revie era, the most successful manager in the club's history. He's like the Alex Ferguson of his era, the Bill Shankly of his period of time. And even the Brian Clough at Nottingham Forest. That you sometimes find a club that just has that manager that brings them the majority of their success. Now, some interesting facts. They're founded in 1919 following Leeds City being forcibly disbanded by the Football League. They take over Leeds City's ground of Ellen Road, which is still their home, which currently seats 37,792 with current seating configuration. They spent a year in the Midland League before joining the Football League on the 31st of May 1920 for the 1920-1921 season. Their longest spell in the top flight unbroken is 18 years, where the majority of their success takes place between 1964 and 1982, mostly under almost all that success under Don Revie. Their longest spell outside the top flight is 16 years, most recently between 2004 and 2020, obviously following relegation from the Premier League, and they dropped down to the third tier at one point. Now, in their history, they've been to a European Cup final, two Champions League semi-finals, and they've won the Intercities Fair Cup twice, the forerunner to the Europa League. To the Europa League, the old UEFA Cup. So, they've had a fair, good old history in Europe, and they've won every domestic trophy you can think of in England that is still played for today. The Division 1 title, obviously, now being the Premier League. For the top flight, they've won the FA Cup, they've won the League Cup, and they've won the Charity Shield. So, let's delve into their history, their rivalries with almost everyone in the Football League, it seems, and a quirky bit of film trivia because they've had a film made about them. So it takes them until 1968-69 to win their first Division 1 title under Don Revie. They backed that up in 1973-74 season with their second league title, but they have to wait until the last ever Unified Football League title in the 1991-92 season before the Premier League comes along. And what is funny about this, and I'll get to their later silverware, is that's the last league title before the Premier League. They actually win the first trophy in the Premier League era, which is the 1992 Charity Shield. So there you go, they win the last Unified Football League Division 1 title, and they win the first Charity Shield of the Premier League era. So there you go. They win the FA Cup in the 1972-73 season. Obviously, they were losing finalists to Chelsea in the 1970 FA Cup final, which is well renowned for Billy Bremner and some fisticuffs. Now, you've got the League Cup win in the 1967-68 season. And the Charity Shield, which they won in 1969, and of course the first Charity Shield of the Premier League era in 1992, which is actually the last silverware they've ever won. So it's been 30 years without silverware for Leeds United. They had their two Intercities Fairs Cup wins, which is the forerunner to the UEFA Cup, which has been rebranded to the Europa League in the 1967-68 season and the 1970-71 season. So they've only won two bits of silverware without Don Revie as manager. That's how important Don Revie is to this football club. And as I say, they were runners-up to Bayern Munich in the European Cup in the mid-70s. They've also had two Champions League semi-finals in there. They've had some fantastic nights in Europe. It's just been a very long time since they've played in Europe, which is a massive shame. And I'm surprised by the actual lack of success other than that Don Revie period and that little period just before the Premier League comes into existence. They haven't had success otherwise, and that is really, really surprising that it all comes in the 60s and 70s, that they are one of the top sides in England, and it's a very short window that they will have success. Really surprised with that. But it's much like Nottingham Forest. You take away Brian Clough, Forest can't win. You take away Don Revie, Leeds can't win. And then Brian Clough managed both teams, and we'll get to the damned United and how short his spell was as manager after leaving Derby County. It's really interesting, that period in Leeds' history, which sort of derails them for a while. It really does. Now, their rivalries, they have a lot. Now, Galatasaray is a heated rivalry when they've played each other in Europe. Really nasty. But their rivalries domestically, I could have listed every single team in the Football League, quite frankly, but their main rivalries, and there are a lot, including a couple from London, which I find bizarre, and Wales, somehow, a rivalry in Wales. But Manchester United, famously big rivals, Chelsea, due to that 1970 FA Cup match, Millwall, for some reason, get in there as a heated rivalry between the two teams. How that's happened, how that evolved, only Leeds and Millwall fans will be able to tell you that. Sheffield Wednesday, because they're from Yorkshire. Huddersfield Town, because they're from Yorkshire. Bradford City, obviously the nearest geographical location, because they're from Yorkshire. Sheffield United, because they're from Yorkshire. Cardiff is another one. That also dates back to an FA Cup match that got a bit feisty at the old Ninian Park. And Derby County, famously, because Brian Clough had regularly criticised the tactics and style of play that Don Reevy's Leeds United were employing. Then he gets employed by Leeds United. Now, that's where the Damned United films comes in. It charts Brian Clough spelt as manager after Don Reevy left for the England job, which lasted precisely 44 days. Then they sacked him. Then he goes to Nottingham Forest after another little spell at Derby, and the rest is obviously history. And Brian Clough is possibly the best manager not to coach England. Imagine how different things could have been. But there you go. There's a brief history of Leeds United. Their predominant success comes in their longest spell in the top flight between that 1964 and 1982 period. Most of their silverware comes under Don Reevy, and they have that little bit of success in the early 90s before the Premier League era kicks in. But 30 years without silverware and 16 years outside the top flight between 2004 and 2020 was damn near ruinous for the club. The club nearly folded. There was concerns they might get liquidated. The Peter Ridsdale era, the Cellini era, the uncertain finances, the debt. They're back in the Premier League. They had a bad season this season just gone, finishing 17th, just above Burnley. They did it on the last day of the season. They stay up. This is their third season back in the Premier League. We're looking forward to it. Let's see how Leeds progress going forward. I can't see them going backwards now. I think bit of squad depth, some fresh faces. I can see Leeds going forward rather than backwards. But 30 years without silverware, that is a very, very long time. Thank you very much for watching. Please place your thoughts in the comments section below. I could have done some club legends like Gordon Strachan. I could have really looked into Don Reevy's managerial career, like win percentage, but we would have been here all day. But some of those rivalries are like with Millwall and Chelsea and Cardiff are really, really unique. And also their late foundation of 1919. Bradford City are older. Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesday, Huddersfield Town are all older. So it's really surprising to me that they were founded as late as they were. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll have some more content for you very, very soon. And from me, it's goodbye for now. And I'll see you all very, very soon.